On October 30, 2025, leaders from the government, ECOWAS and private sector, academia and finance will gather in Abuja for a milestone event themed Made in Nigeria, Made for Health. This forum is expected to mark a new chapter in advancing Nigeria's health security, boosting local pharmaceutical manufacturing and strengthening sexual and reproductive health and rights. It's hosted by the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, PVAC, and the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD. Well, let's discuss this further. Joining us now for more from our Abuja studios is Dr. Obi Adigwe, the Director General of the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Adigwe, for speaking to us.
Thank you very much, Layo. And we couldn't have had a more fortuitous intro than the Honorable Minister speaking about the medical city over there in Manila, where he's attended that World Conference with the First Lady. So that was a brilliant intro to this very discussion.
Indeed, and the Nigeria-EU Health Investment Forum has been described as a milestone, in advancing Nigeria's health security and industrialization. Tell us, what makes this initiative, significant at this moment?
Well, whenever you turn on the telly these days, half of the discussions around healthcare how people didn't learn any lessons from the last COVID pandemic and how there were issues around preparing for the next pandemic, because definitely there will be a next pandemic. This particular intervention is actually a very good example regarding how we in Nigeria learned our lesson and how this particular administration has prioritized building an ecosystem whilst concurrently developing a value chain to enable Nigeria not only be able to address the next pandemic or any health security challenges that may come up, but also to use the healthcare as a sector where we can not only take care of our medicine security needs, but also in a very proactive socio-economic focus, be able to serve as the hub to take care of the entire continent. So this particular discussion started towards the tail end of the last pandemic, where it was very clear that Nigeria and other African countries got the short end of the stick as regards vaccines manufacturing, because we depended on the rest of the world for about 99% of our vaccines and a significant amount of our medication. So the Ministry of Health very wisely put together a policy for local vaccines manufacturing, and NIPRD, alongside its partners in the European Union, said this must not end up as one of those brilliant policies that will end up as a nice bound document on the shelf. And with a very small grant, we were able to put together a roadmap that brought in all the stakeholders, did bottom up analysis. We had quantitative surveys, we had qualitative research, we had high-level stakeholder meetings, we had engagement with all the stakeholders, and we came up with a roadmap that was designed to ensure that within a period of 10 years, Nigeria would come up with at least 3 world-class manufacturing entities. And the EU and partners said, well, this is a good pathway for us to begin to do our work and begin to identify where we should invest, private sector, where we should focus on, the rest of the society, what kind of skills are required, what kind of training is required. And over the past 18 months, we've been putting together this particular MAF Plus project. That's the team Europe Initiative, Medicines Access and Vaccines Plus Initiative, which also takes care of commodities and other interventions in the healthcare sector. And tomorrow marks the symbolic and official signing of that document. The total package, we're looking at about 18 million euros coming into Nigeria, implemented by various stakeholder groups and various implementing partners. But it's designed to change the entire architecture, academics, soft skills, support for training, support for local manufacturing, innovative research, ensuring that women and youth play a strong role in the value chain, and just making sure that by the time the next pandemic rolls by, Nigeria will be exporting vaccines to the rest of the world.
And NIPRID has, been central to research and local production efforts. How will this partnership now, with the EU help strengthen Nigeria's pharmaceutical innovation and particularly expand access to quality medicines?
That's a brilliant question, and I like how you've identified the work that NIPRID had done, and that work actually started during the COVID pandemic, where we led the world in doing the analysis for the COVID organics preparation from Madagascar. What this particular intervention is seeking to do is to ensure that by the time these capacities that have been generated in NIPRID begin to be cascaded to the rest of the research community, begin to be implemented in areas in manufacturing, areas in the industry where they are very highly required, those interventions will be sustainable. Because prior to now, in settings like ours, where there isn't significant research and development capacities, people rely on copy and paste models. That's not a sustainable approach. So what this particular administration is focusing on doing is making sure that interventions that come into our system, particularly in the healthcare sector, and you've heard the Honorable Minister mention the presidential initiative to unlock the value chain. You've heard about the presidential executive order on the pharma sector. You've heard about the ministerial committee on phytomedicines commercialization and development. And there are about 5-6 more interventions at the high end. What this intervention does is that it makes sure that as these policies are coming into play and they're being implemented across the entire value chain, all around the entire ecosystem, it is underpinned by research and development that is contextual, which is what will make it sustainable and most impactful in the long run.
All right, Dr. Adigwe, finally, what message would you like, Nigerians, especially young professionals in the health and science department to, take away from this forum that will hold tomorrow, 30th October?
So my advice isn't only for the forum tomorrow. My advice to young people, scientists, people coming into the healthcare sector, people who are in innovation, my advice goes beyond tomorrow's event. I've been in this sector since 2000, informally and officially as a government worker since 2004. And I haven't seen a setting where healthcare and pharma has been prioritized as it is now. There are a lot of opportunities coming up. Tomorrow there's going to be a lot of signings of big ticket items. There's going to be a lot of training coming up. Beyond our relationship with the EU, the Honorable Minister has also given a signal, so we're hosting Stanford and colleagues to train scientists at Transcorp Hilton on the 2nd of February next year. And there are quite a number of things. I'm sure you heard the Minister mention a few more. This is the golden era of science. So if you have the capacity, if you have the interest, if you know you have something to contribute to national service and the building of our country, this is the time to begin to engage. In fact, if you go to our website, which is www.niprd.gov.ng, on the landing page, there is a form that will enable you to begin to engage from the science aspect. Also, the minister, senior members of government are very active in the media. Identify where you're going to key in. There are a lot of high-value assignments coming up. There are a lot of high-value training and capacity-building events coming up. Identify where you fit and make sure you do not lose the opportunity of getting your name written down in the sands of time in Nigeria's health and socio-economic development.
Thank you so much, Dr. Obi Adigwe. He's the Director General, National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD. Thank you for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Great to talk to you, Layo, and looking forward to Nigerians engaging as discussed.
Thank you.